Croatia is upgrading its military at a speed that would make some of its neighbors very, very nervous. We're talking 5 times the defense budget it had just a decade ago, swapping out Soviet leftovers for Rafale jets, Leopard tanks, and even HIMARS rocket systems. Oh, and in case you missed it, military conscription is coming back in 2025. That's right, Croatia's turning the dial from weekend coastal vacation to don't mess with us real quick. The land of sun, sea, and Dubrovnik is about to add serious military punch to its travel brochures. But why is Croatia pouring billions into its armed forces? To answer that, we've got to rewind. For years, Croatia relied on hand-me-downs, most notably its aging fleet of MiG-21 fighter jets. These things were basically Cold War antiques. Planes so old, you'd half expect them to come with grainy black and white footage and a museum ticket. They could still fly. Barely. But let's be real. In modern warfare, a MiG-21 is about as useful as bringing a flip phone to a smartphone convention. Croatia joined NATO in 2009, the EU in 2013, but its military hardware lagged behind. And with the war in Ukraine shaking up Europe's security order, Croatia decided it was time to stop patching up the past and start building a future-ready force. So let's talk money. Back in 2016, Croatia's defense budget was about 540 million euros. Fast forward to 2027, and we're looking at 2.7 billion. That's a 5-fold increase. To put it in perspective, that's like going from driving a rusty old Yugo that wheezes uphill to suddenly pulling up in a brand new Mercedes AMG with the whole neighborhood staring. And here's the kicker. It's not reckless spending, it's targeted. Croatia is already spending over 2% of its GDP on defense, which isn't just ticking NATO's favorite box. It's showing Brussels and Washington that Croatia is serious about pulling its weight. And where's all that cash going? Straight into the sky. Croatia is retiring its MiG-21s, finally giving those Cold War museum pieces the rest they deserve, and replacing them with French Rafale fighter jets. Now, the Rafale isn't just a fancy toy. It's one of the most capable multi-role jets in Europe. Air superiority? Check precision strikes? Check long-range missions? Absolutely. It's the kind of jet that makes Croatia's Air Force a real contender, not just a background extra in NATO air shows. In short, Croatia is going from noisy but outdated to sharp, modern, and deadly. But of course, it's not just about what's flying overhead. On the ground, Croatia is beefing up its armored punch in a big way. First up, 50 German Leopard 2A8 main battle tanks. These aren't your average tanks. They're some of the most advanced beasts in the world. Imagine a heavyweight champion stepping into the ring with night vision, a digital brain, and enough firepower to make enemy armor think twice before rolling forward. For Croatia, it's a massive leap from its older, less capable tanks that were closer to relics than cutting-edge machines. Then you've got the Bradley's 62 M2A20DS armored fighting vehicles, which Croatia is repairing and upgrading. These things aren't just armored buses for troops. With their guns, sensors, and mobility, they make infantry much more lethal. Add to that 30 brand new Patria armored personnel carriers, kitted out with 30mm autocannons and Spike anti-tank missiles, and suddenly Croatia's ground forces can go toe-to-toe with much larger adversaries. It's no longer about holding the line, it's about hitting back hard. In short, Croatia's army is going from lightweight peacekeeper to don't even think about it mode. Now here's where things get really spicy. Croatia isn't just upgrading what it already has, it's adding brand new capabilities. Enter the HIMARS. If you've been following the war in Ukraine, you've already heard the legend. These rocket artillery systems can deliver pinpoint strikes from over 70 kilometers away, demolishing command centers, ammo depots, and supply lines before the enemy even knows they're in range. For Croatia, HIMARS means it can project power far beyond its borders, deterring anyone who might want to test its defenses. And then come the drones. Croatia is bringing in Bayraktar TB2s, Turkish-made drones that have already carved out a reputation in conflicts across Syria, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Ukraine. These drones aren't just flying cameras. They can track, scout, and strike. Combine HIMARS with Bayraktars, and Croatia suddenly has a deadly 1-2 punch. Drones spot the target, HIMARS takes it out. That's modern warfare 101, and Croatia just added it to its playbook. But the upgrades don't stop at land and air. Croatia knows it sits on a jewel of the Adriatic Sea, 1,000 miles of coastline dotted with islands, ports, and trade routes. The Navy is getting its own modernization push, with coastal patrol fleets being upgraded to secure maritime borders and NATO's southern flank. Controlling that stretch of the Adriatic isn't just about national pride, it's about trade security, smuggling prevention, and ensuring that if trouble comes by sea, Croatia's not caught flat-footed. And here's another smart move: reviving domestic ammunition production. Because let's face it, what good are new tanks and jets if you run out of shells and missiles after a few days of fighting? Croatia is making sure that in the event of a prolonged conflict, it won't have to beg allies for bullets. Having your own ammo rolling off factory lines means you can fight longer, harder, and without waiting on shipments that might never come. It's the kind of quiet but critical upgrade that makes the military truly resilient. Now, here's a twist that's going to shake things up at home. Military conscription is coming back in 2025. That's right, Croatians who were planning their summers on the beach might want to pack boots instead of flip-flops. After years of relying on professionals and volunteers, Croatia wants a bigger pool of trained manpower to back up all this shiny new hardware. The government says it's about readiness and resilience, and given Europe's current security climate, it's hard to argue. Of course, not everyone's going to be thrilled. Some young Croatians will embrace it as a patriotic duty, while others will probably complain about swapping late-night clubbing in Split for early morning drills in muddy fields. But love it or hate it, conscription means Croatia is building up not just its machines, but its manpower. And at the end of the day, soldiers are what make weapons count. So, what does all of this mean? By 2027, Croatia won't just be another small NATO member quietly minding its own business. It'll be a serious player in the Balkans, armed with cutting-edge jets, tanks, drones, and missile systems. It's already spending above NATO's 2% target, forging defense pacts with Albania and Kosovo, and stepping up its role in European security. For the EU, this is Croatia moving from being a passenger in Europe's defense train to helping drive the engine. And let's be honest, the transformation is dramatic. A decade ago, Croatia's Air Force was flying Cold War antiques, its army was limited, its navy modest, and its budget tight. Fast forward to now, and we're talking Rafales screaming across the skies, Leopards prowling the ground, HIMARS raining precision fire, Bayraktars buzzing overhead, domestic ammo production humming, and fresh conscripts filling the ranks. That's not a small upgrade, it's a military renaissance. The real question now isn't whether Croatia can defend itself. It's how this sudden military transformation will reshape the balance of power in the Balkans. One thing's for sure, Croatia isn't just playing catch-up anymore. It's playing for keeps.